In Europe, something is changing about RFID. The Commissioner Viviane Reding is working about the possibility to change the rule and the environment about this technology. What is your position about that?
I think it's absolutely essential to change the rule, just because, as you know, everybody now looks very intensively on RFID for their application, many applications. And the new technology which is really on the top of the priority is what we call UHF. And when you think that, for example, in the US today, there is a big effort made on UHF RFID, and the power allowed by the regulation in the US is 4 watts. When it comes to Europe, it's completely different. You have 2 watts, for example, in countries like Spain and Germany and so on. You have 0.5 watts, which is 8 times less than the US for France, which is not the same as the other countries of Europe, and specifically in Italy, it's nothing. You have 25 milliwatts, which is absolutely tiny. Like
everybody speak about that.
So I mean that you cannot have any European regulation where the people are really looking at an application with RFID when there is such a discrepancy in terms of what power you are allowed to use for your application. So which means that something has to change, something has to be more uniform, more consistent.
Do you think it's possible that in the next future or in the mid-future there will be a general reallocation of the spectrum in Europe just to make all the country more equal, more comparable?
I hope so. And the problem, of course, is that when it goes to a big country like the US, where everything is flat, is the same, it's easy to do that. For Europe, mostly, when it comes to frequency, you know that we are also interfering with military obligations or regulations. So I mean that it will take time, but I think that it's mandatory. If we want to apply this kind of UHF technology everywhere and consistently in Europe, for a customer which has some locations in different countries in Europe, it needs to be, he wants to be able to apply the same kind of technology in each and every country. Today it's not possible on UHF RFID.
Okay. How do you feel to be a European company, almost a European company, in a market dominated by American companies? What is your strength and also, you know, the more difficult points?
Yeah, as you say, I mean, Psion Teklogix is really different because most of all of our competitors are North American, and we are also North American because our head office is in Canada. But we have roughly 60% of the revenue and profit of Psion Teklogix comes from Europe, when it's probably only 30% for our major competitors. The reason why is probably because we are more Europe focused on the type of application which are interesting for the market in Europe. And I think that we have also very much invested in our people. You know, today I'm very happy to spend the next 2 days in Italy because we have a very strong team with very sharp experts, with very good technicians. And in our business, I mean that we are less and less box movers. Today it's more and more difficult just to say, okay, I will receive an order for a certain amount of devices, we will deliver and that's it. Today you need to deliver solutions. And to do that, you need to have very good experts, very high-level engineers and technicians. And this is really our strength compared probably to our competitors. And Italy is a perfect example. The strength of the technical team is one of the best assets of this company.
All right. Do you see that RFID could become a driver or increase the competitiveness of European economy or some part of European economy, and in what supply chain will happen first?
Yeah, at the beginning of our discussion we spoke about UHF because of the different regulations. Today at least we have 2 main frequencies which are working very well, who are very stabilized in Europe and everywhere in the world, which are HF and low frequency.
Right.
And for HF, we have a lot of very well working application, very consistently everywhere in Europe and in the world. UCHEF is using 13.56 megahertz, and it works very, very well in application like pallet tracking, like especially when it comes to industry like fashion, when you need to make sure that there will not be fakes, when the people will want to make sure that the original clothes or original leather bag is really coming from Armenia.
Protecting from, you know, fraud.
So it's quite easy to put an RFID and to really double check and triple check that during all the chain you keep the same product and that it's not coming from somewhere in China or anywhere. So for fashion it's very important. For food, today you know that the regulation for food tracking and temperature, for example, temperature tracking is more and more drastic.
The frozen food, by example.
Frozen food and so on. And RFID is a perfect technology to do that. I mean that we have some applications with our products today which are working very, very well, and big companies like Spar or Carrefour are really already testing this kind of application. So food tracking, temperature tracking, fashion, and all the tracking of assets like pallets or plastic crates are already working very, very well.
All right.